The looming shadow of obesity in Africa, a crisis mirroring the HIV epidemic. Africa is grappling with a silent epidemic, one that shares chilling similarities with the devastating HIV crisis, the alarming surge in obesity. This isn't merely a health concern. It's a societal crisis fueled by stigma, inadequate treatment, and a disproportionate impact on women, mirroring the tragic trajectory of HIV's spread across the continent. The stark reality, as revealed by the World Obesity Federation, is staggering. Nearly half of all African women will be obese or overweight by the end of this decade. This isn't a distant threat. It's a present danger demanding immediate and comprehensive action. The parallels with the HIV epidemic are striking. Just as HIV disproportionately affected women, so too does obesity. While approximately 25% of African men are overweight or obese, a significantly higher 40% of women fall into this category. This disparity, far greater than that seen in other regions of the world, underscores a deeply rooted issue demanding urgent attention. Moreover, this trend is accelerating at an alarming rate. The World Obesity Atlas projects that by 2030, 45% of African women will be overweight or obese, compared to 26% of men. This widening gap paints a grim picture of a future where the health and well-being of women are severely compromised. Dr. Namathemba Shandiwana, Chief Scientific Officer at the Desmond Tutu Health Foundation and a specialist in obesity and non-communicable diseases, NCDs, offers crucial insights into this escalating crisis. She points to the intertwined factors of urbanization and shifting lifestyles as key drivers. Many African cities lack safe spaces for physical activity, leaving women particularly vulnerable. Long working hours, the immense burden of caregiving responsibilities, and safety concerns further restrict women's opportunities for movement and exercise. Unlike men, who may engage in occupational or leisure-based physical activity, women's daily routines are increasingly sedentary, contributing significantly to the rising obesity rates. The disproportionate impact on women serves as a potent warning sign. Research consistently demonstrates that the rise of obesity in countries often begins with higher rates among women and higher income groups before spreading to the broader population. This suggests that the current trends in Africa could presage a far more widespread and devastating public health catastrophe. Dr. Shandiwana expresses cautious optimism regarding the potential of new anti-obesity drugs, such as GLP-1 receptor agonists like Wegovy and Mounjaro, which have gained prominence in the West. However, she highlights a critical equity issue. Access to these, best-in-class, medications is unevenly distributed, with patients in many parts of Africa facing significant barriers to accessing life-changing treatments. She recounts a disheartening experience where funding for a crucial trial of semaglutide in HIV-positive women was abruptly halted, highlighting the challenges in securing resources for research and treatment in Africa. The stark reality is that while some individuals benefit from advanced treatments, many others are left to rely on outdated methods, like insulin in glass vials instead of modern pens, simply because of their geographical location. Brenda Chitindi of the Zambia NCD Alliance reinforces these concerns, emphasizing the role of cultural attitudes as a significant obstacle. In Zambia, obesity is often misinterpreted as a sign of prosperity rather than the serious disease it is. This deeply ingrained misconception hinders efforts to address the issue effectively, delaying crucial interventions and allowing the epidemic to escalate unchecked. The World Obesity Atlas's assessment of countries' readiness to combat obesity further underscores the urgency of the situation. The assessment considers factors such as the availability of NCD treatment, preventative policies, e.g., taxes on sugary drinks, and restrictions on marketing unhealthy foods to children. The stark reality is that many African nations lack the infrastructure, resources, and policies necessary to tackle this growing crisis effectively. The parallel with the HIV epidemic extends beyond the sheer numbers. It highlights the critical need for a multifaceted approach that addresses the social, economic, and cultural determinants of health. This requires not only improved access to healthcare and advanced treatments, but also a significant shift in societal attitudes, the creation of supportive environments, and the implementation of effective preventative measures. The fight against obesity in Africa demands a concerted global effort, mirroring the international collaborations that were crucial in combating the HIV epidemic. Failure to act decisively will condemn millions to a future burdened by preventable disease, perpetuating a cycle of suffering and inequality. The time for decisive action is now. The consequences of inaction are far too grave to ignore. The future of Africa's women, and indeed its entire population, hinges on the success of this critical battle. The similarities to the HIV crisis should serve as a stark warning. The opportunity to learn from past mistakes and prevent a similar tragedy must not be squandered. This is not merely a health crisis. It is a social justice issue that demands immediate, sustained, and comprehensive action from governments, international organizations, and individuals alike.